Hi there, welcome to BSF Recovery Team. Well, we're still at it here in the garage. Still working on the bumper and the new winch. We took our bumper wings off and we tried to fit it on to our center winch plate here that we got from Warren, and it looks like we're still going to have to make some modification. If you look here, I got some lines drawn. We're going to have to trim out the bumper here on both sides. Two reasons. Again, because of those angle braces that are in the front foot winch plate, and also because my new Warren winch is wider than the old ox winch, and it takes up the whole 17.5 inches, or just about, on the winch plate. So we got to trim these off. That does mean that I get to use my new Christmas present that seat cover got me to cut everything off.
Do you have your safety glasses on?
I certainly do.
Good job.
Okay, let's just fit that one before we cut the next one. I think that will, actually, you know what?
What?
That won't come back. We have to be take that piece out too.
And why is that?
Come take a look here. I'm gonna have to take that. Other piece out too, because our holes here don't line up. We got to come back far enough to line these holes up right here. So that means this piece has got to come out also.
Oh.
Alright, well, we cut the whole front off, and now it fits like it should. You can see how these bolt holes here will line up real nice, and that must be the way it was made to fit. I'm thinking because there's also a bolt hole here in the bracket that helps bolt the wing on, probably to replace the two front ones that we're missing now. Alright, well, we got it trimmed out and we bolted it back on, just snugged it up so we can mark all our other bolt holes that we have to drill. We have to drill this hole here, and we're going to drill this hole here on both sides of our bumper wings. Okay, we got things rigged up here so we can drill one of our holes. Drilling a little pilot hole first. Then we'll go up to the 1/2 inch. Okay, now we can do the other wing. This one I can't quite rig up in the press, so we're going to have to drill it by hand. Got kind of late last night, but we finally got all our holes drilled, got everything to fit properly, and assembled the bumper on the truck. Isn't that the way it goes? You think a project's only going to take a couple hours, and it ends up taking half the night? Well, now we can leave the bumper assembled, we can take it off, paint it, put it back on, and mount our winch. One more set of holes before paint. Remember, we're going to put these on. Okay, now we're ready for paint.
Yay!
Well, the paint's dry, and there it is, mounted on the truck. We straightened it out a little bit. It's definitely not show quality, but remember what the wrecker does and where it goes. And we got it all mounted with brand new grade 5 half-inch hardware. We got our 3 bolts on our lower plate on each side, plus the bolt here, and we have it mounted to the truck with 4 grade 5 half-inch bolts on each side. Alright, now we can mount our H1 clevises to the front of our winch plate using grade 5 hardware again. Large backing washers and some lock nuts. Making sure that we put the bolt head to the outside. That way if we ever need to remove this, while the flare head is on here, we don't have to take the flare head off to remove this bolt. There. Hey, now we finally get to mount our new used winch. But before we do, I wanted to talk a little bit about its mounting. Remember earlier in the other video I said this was a forward foot mounted winch? Well, for those of you who aren't familiar with the term, the foot of the winch is where it's mounted. And all of Warren's large frame winches, 10,000 pounds and up, are forward foot mounted winches. The smaller winches are bottom foot mounted winches, which means that the foot of the winch is down here and they mount flat to the plate. The large frame winches mount forward foot or to the face of the plate. Reason being is the large winches need that extra support. If you try and mount one of the large frame winches flat, you'll shear the bolts and break the winch and you'll have a big mess. So you don't want to do that. There's one exception to the rule. There is a smaller frame Warren winch that does mount forward foot. Any of you guess which one that is? Well, I'll give you a little bit of a hint. Its design was one of the first electric self-recovery Warren winches that they ever marketed and sold. Guess what it is yet? I'll give you another hint. The ox winch that I took off of this truck is kind of a copy of that design. We'll see how many of you figure that out. Okay, let's set this big monster in there. Got to get our cable through the slot in our plate. There we go. Looks like our mess of a cable wrap here is kind of keeping us from lining up our holes. We're going to have to spool out some cable. There we go. Won't scratch the paint. Looks like a little alignment persuasion is needed. With our upper bolt started, now we can put on our roller flare head because it gets mounted with the lower bolts. Okay. And unless I want to take the roller apart, the lower bolts are hidden behind the outside roller. So we get to hand wrench them, because I don't have my ratcheting box ends with me. They're in my toolbox at work. And there we are. Finally, it's mounted. Now, we just got to hook up the battery cables. One thing I want to mention, it's always recommended to hook both the positive and the negative battery cable straight to the battery, so you get the best connection for maximum amperage. Okay, now for our hook. I don't know about you guys, but I hate the ends of these cotter pins. They poke you even through the glove. So, we like to make sure that we curl these around real good and trim them off. Oh, my side cutters are getting dull. There. We'll definitely have to unspool this cable, do an inspection, and re-spool it the proper way. But we don't have time for that tonight. It's getting late. There is one more thing we're missing. Can you guess what that is? Even though it's awful beat up, we got to put our trademark plate back on. We're going to straighten it out a little bit first, though. Thanks for watching, BSF Recovery Team. Subscribe to our channel, share our videos, keep wheeling, stay safe out there, and maybe we'll see you in the woods.